Hi guys. So today I want to talk a bit about ego and martial arts. In my case, boxing. So I went sparring on Friday, which is about no, it's yesterday. Um, and although I've only been training for a few months, I decided to throw myself in the deep end. I was thinking of going into a competition in about a month, and just seeing how it is. It's an inter club, so it's not too official. It's not um, too extreme. So yeah, I just threw myself in the deep end without doing any sparring, by the way. So my coach said, "Oh, Zach, like you have to come to sparring classes on Friday if you want to compete." So I was like, "Yeah, sure." I obligated. I came. Um, but one thing I wasn't prepared for was how uneducated and inexperienced I was when I did go into sparring on Friday. Um, the first lesson was that ego is the enemy. Similar to is the title of Ryan Holiday's book, "Ego is the Enemy." Um, Ego comes up in very sneaky ways. I went to the gym and thought, oh, like this is gonna be like a cakewalk. I've done sparring before once or twice, so I kind of know what's up in there. Um, but I got paired up with this guy. He's a lot more experienced. Although he's a year younger. Most of the guys there are old are older guys in their like late 20s and 30s, and even some late 30s. So I thought, oh, I'm gonna get paired up with these old people, so I'm gonna be faster and stronger than them. I got paired up with this guy, and man, like the fight or flight instinct kicked almost within 5 seconds of fighting. Like I don't want to blame him too much because I did this as well, but he just like kept swinging at me. Like he said, oh, let's start off light and then get into it, but I think it was my fault too. I went into it thinking like, okay, like I need to defend myself. I need to kill this guy before he kills me. Um, really is like survival of the fittest. Um, yeah, and it just wasn't fun. Um, and it was a lot of my ego talking throughout the fight. It's like, okay, you got this, you got this, you got to beat him, you got to beat him. But what actually is the goal of sparring? It's not to hurt your opponent. It's just to get experience. And I carried, from that first fight, I carried it on. I got paired up with a few different people, and I carried that same fake inflated feeling of authority and of self-importance for the whole fight, that I was just trying to aim for the head and just hit people, instead of working on my skill and letting my partner also work on their skill. I only realized it now, during the time after fighting, I got hit in the head quite often. My nose started bleeding. And, I'm not here to complain, that's what boxing is all about. But it's like my first time I'm really experiencing this. And, after I came home, I just thought to myself, like, oh man, like, boxing isn't for me. Like, this is too, I remember realizing halfway through the sparring session, I was like, man, like I've invested in some gear, like I've been watching a lot of boxing videos online. Like, is this really for me? This is torture. It's not fun to get hit. It's not fun to do this, Like you really have to be crazy if you want to box. But I now realized that I was kind of doing that to myself, having an ego and going to a place, it's just not great. You're gonna wind up getting yourself hurt. And this goes for life as well. If you have a big ego and you strut around like you know everything, somebody will put you in your place, whether that's physically or in the work environment or in your friend group or whatever. This I forgot who said this. I think Khabib. He's a very famous MMA fighter in the UFC. Um, he said something along the lines of, "Be humble, don't be humbled," uh, which is great. I mean, it says it all, really. I mean, you don't want to go into the situation having to, sometimes that's what it takes. I had to learn the hard way, and had to learn that I need to sort myself out, before I get into the ring and train with others. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say for today. It's a real, you learn a lot from using your body and exercising like that. It's funny because I haven't really, I'm 22 years old. I haven't really experienced life much, but I've already learned so much from this one sparring session. And I know that, some of you watching will probably be, having hundreds of sparring sessions already. You're like, oh yeah, this guy knows nothing. Yeah, I really don't, I really don't know anything. I'm just putting my ideas out there. And it's just crazy to me. And it's not crazy, but it's interesting about how much you can learn about life and apply these lessons to different aspects of your life by just boxing and sparring. It's quite cool in my opinion, and it opens up a lot of opportunities. You can do anything and learn anything and implement it to anything. It reinforces the idea of just taking action and course correcting when yeah, later down the line. You don't need to do it now. um, and yeah, it's great. I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that. um, you can just do anything and learn anything from it and implement it. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to talk to you guys about stuff. Whatever. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.